Hi, I'm Alan Weiner with The Spoon, and I'm here right now with Khalid Aboujassoum, who was founder and CEO of Oliver. And there's quite a few cooking appliances that are not only here at the show, but making their way into the market. But even a first look at Oliver, you look at it and say, this is interesting. So give us kind of an overview as to exactly what Oliver is and what it does.
Okay. So Oliver is a smart and automatic cooking appliance that basically knows how to manage dispensing ingredients into the cooking pot, manage the heat and set it to the right temperature, and do any needed mixing so everything is cooked evenly. So if you think of a single pot recipe, Oliver is smart enough to know how to cook it automatically with hands off. So if you think about the slow cookers as the best thing we've ever done so far, arguably speaking, in terms of dumping everything into the cooking pot and leaving it and having it cook it automatically, hands off, then we are taking that to the next level by simply managing when to dispense every single ingredient at the right time. Since ingredients have different cooking times and cooking temperatures, this technology, the automatic dispensing in Oliver, takes this whole thing to a new level. So basically now you don't have mushy potatoes or undercooked proteins. You can really taste every single ingredient. It has the right texture and the right flavorness that you want to taste in any single pot dish, basically.
So if I hear you correctly, normally you put in first the vegetable, for example, that takes the longest to cook. Potatoes, carrots, etc.
Yes.
And then you add tomatoes.
Or mushrooms, for example, which take shorter time. So for example, if you take a typical dish of, for example, the penne pasta we cook, it has ginger and basil. We'll start off by sautéing the onions. So you will heat the oil, dispense the onions, saute them, and there is a mixer in Oliver that mixes everything, so everything is cooked evenly and the onions are sauteed. Then you would dispense tomatoes, garlic, and like the other veggies, then dispense some water and let that basically cook as a broth in a preparation for dispensing the penne, and basically cook the penne and have that amazing, delicious dish at the end of the process.
So for people who haven't seen it, I would describe it as these kind of pneumatic tubes that sit on top of I guess,
canisters. So we have 6 canisters and a water tank in the middle. And basically you load these canisters in the water tank as guided by the smartphone app. So there is accompanying smartphone app that comes with Oliver that has pre-programmed recipes made by chefs. The app will guide you through the process of loading these tubes. So it's a pot, it's a heating element, a pot, and then a tray on top of it with the ingredient canisters and the water tank in the middle.
Now do you have to, I'm sure that somehow you have to put the pieces of the recipe in so that the app and the machine can recognize them in a certain order. So does it say to you, put carrots in tube 1?
Yes, exactly. This is exactly how it works. So the app will guide you through the ingredients you need to put in every single canister, and they go in sequence, as you mentioned. And basically, you just follow the instructions on the app, and boom, bon appetit. You have an automatically cooked, delicious meal at the end of the day.
So underneath the canisters is kind of a heating element. What would that kind of resemble? Would that resemble a slow cooker?
No, you just think of the heating element you have on your stovetop, like the burner on your stovetop. So think as if it's just one of them. And then you have a pot on top of that burner, and then you have this mechanism or the tray with the canisters, and then you can basically load the canisters on this tray, and they stack up on top of each other, and then the system is smart enough to know when to dispense. So there are doors that open and close, and they dispense all the contents of the canisters at the right time, setting the heat to the right temperature, and then do any needed mixing.
And then there's an arm that goes around and stirs.
Yes, exactly. So that stirring arm just would mix things as needed, so everything is cooked evenly.
So can you set a timer in advance? So if I, one of the things about a crock pot is I can go to work and I can set it to start at 4 o'clock. so that when I come home, dinner is ready. Can you do that with the Oliver?
Yeah, so basically we're tailoring for scenarios where you can tell Oliver, listen, I need food by 6, and Oliver will do the math for you. Given that you have loaded the ingredients, and basically Oliver will just do the math and know when to start and when the food will be ready. So when you come back at 6 p.m., the food is ready for you to eat, basically.
Let's talk about recipes.
Sure.
So there are recipes that come with the Oliver, and these are ones that you've created.
So basically we're working with chefs. We are empowering chefs through a recipe making app. And basically that recipe making app acts as a controller for Oliver. So the chef would take this app, open it up and say, okay, Oliver, set the heat to 200 Celsius or 180 or whatever it is. And then set the heat to 180, dispense canister 1, start mixing. Stop mixing, set the heat to 200, dispense canister 2. And the app is smart enough to capture all these actions, and basically from that point on, the Oliver can cook that recipe automatically. So the chef comes in, cooks the recipe manually through that app, and the app is recording all the actions of the chef, and then compiling it into that recipe that other users like myself can use it and cook the recipe with Oliver automatically.
Let's talk about users.
Okay.
So I would suspect that users will also contribute recipes.
Oh yes, so the idea is to open up this platform to create and exchange recipes. For now we are focusing on the quality control process and just understand how that can fold itself, and we are working with chefs at the time. Basically we are talking to culinary schools and talking to graduates who just graduated, and they would love to share their creations, and they like technology and new gadgets, so that's what we are doing today. But yes, the future vision is to have that open platform of recipe creation and sharing.
So where are you in terms of market cycle? Are you in the market?
Not yet. We have a very advanced working prototype. We've been doing one-to-one sessions for some time now with customers, and the idea or the plan now, the next milestone is to basically deploy 10 maybe to 20 units in the field, give them to users and understand how can they use it, like give them Oliver for a week or two and observe their basically usage and how frequently will they use it and per week, and what kind of recipes would they prefer, so it guide our further development and hopefully would inform our launching strategy, which we plan to launch hopefully in Q2 of 2018 if everything goes as planned and as well. Anyone can feel free to go to olivercooks.com. We have a sign up form there. You can just join the waitlist or email us at pilot@olivercooks.com, and we can definitely stay in touch and see if you want to be part of the pilot, and we can work out the logistics from there.
Okay. Well, I know what I'm doing after this, signing up for the pilot. Two final things.
Yes.
Were you crowdfunded to start?
Oh no, not yet. We bootstrapped for a while, and then we raised an angel round, and we recently closed an institutional seed. We are planning a crowdfunding campaign like in Q2 of 2018. We are thinking about having a crowdfunding campaign as our launch strategy.
And I'm going to end with the most obvious question: why the name Oliver?
Again, we wanted to give the appliance a personality, and the name Oliver resonated with a lot of people, so we decided to name it Oliver.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, I've been here with Khalid, the CEO and founder of Oliver, a pretty remarkable cooking system, and we look forward to it coming to market in 2018.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Weiner for The Spoon.